Good morning, traders. It is Tuesday, November the 12th. Taking a look at the charts, we got the SP 500 daily chart. You can see how the SP 500 has been working its way up here. It rallies, consolidates in this series of little mini bull flags, working up the 5-day moving average. I talk about this quite a bit. The 5-day moving average, when you're in a strong trend, the price will hold that for a very long period of time. Once it breaks it, you can see it gets stuck under it. And I find it a very good gauge for momentum. So the fact that we're holding up here, we will dip below it intraday, but we seem to recover every time. As long as we hold above it, the momentum is to the upside. In the last couple sessions, we've seen the market pop and then consolidate. We are at the 5-day moving average again. The odds are pointing to another pop, but overall the market is getting narrowed into this range here and getting squished, and we're going to get into a point here where eventually it's going to crack to the downside, likely put in some type of topping formation and then roll over. But until then, equities continue to go up. There is very little fear in the equity in the market in general. Money continues to flow out of the safe havens. If you take a look over at bonds. Bonds obviously have been bleeding out here, continuing to go down and unwind with investors just not afraid. They don't want to own boring bonds. They want to get into the high risk stocks. If you take a look over at gold. Gold, again, flushing out. Most of the metals are flushing out here. You look at silver as well. Silver's flushing out, platinum, palladium, they're all moving lower, and people are just moving out of the safe havens, including utilities. Look at utilities. It is completely flushed out. Last time we saw a huge drop in utilities, very similar type of market condition in terms of everyone just dumping. This was the final sell-off in December. We saw the sell-off start last October, and the utilities market actually bucked the trend and did really well. But then right at the very end, everyone piled out of or dumped out of utilities, and it crashed. And then the market reset for a huge leg going higher. And that's what feels like is more or less happening here. Is all the money is moving out of the safe havens, and when everyone is moving out in the same direction and everything's starting to get oversold, that's usually when the market's looking for a bottom. And that's what we're looking for, is that bottom in the markets. Now, if we take a look over at gold, we got some interesting information on gold. Yesterday, we saw the biggest outflows in GLD, the world's largest gold ETF. There's $620 million moved out of the gold ETF. And if we take a look at the weekly chart, this is a three-year spike in selling off in gold. So here we go. So the last time we saw this type of sell-off in gold was right here, where everyone moved out of gold. It happened to be the low. This is a long-term chart low. If we go way back in gold, you can see 2016. This is the last time we saw this many people just dumping and getting rid of gold. It was the low in 2016, and gold is up 50% since that signal again. And this is a long-term investing style signal. We're starting to get that again now. Again, this is a weekly chart, so it doesn't mean we still could have a month and a half of the market trying to carve out a bottom here. It still could continue a bit lower, but overall, everyone is moving out of the safe havens, dumping gold, and that is usually the sign when we're going to see all the COT data start to swing directions, and we're going to start to see the next big move potentially take place in the metals and miners. But this is a weekly chart. We could still have 5, 6, 8 weeks of the market trying to put in lower prices and carve out a bottom before that momentum can shift to the upside. But just know that everyone is getting rid of gold, and that is the sign that usually a bottom is very close for the next leg up. Now, if we take a look over at, let's pull up the chart of energies. Natural gas, big down day yesterday. Let me go back to the daily. Nat gas really flushed down yesterday, big drop down about 5.5%. Today we're seeing an oversold bounce up about 1.5% this morning. Overall, we caught this nice run. We've caught both moves in natural gas. We ended up getting long over here. We caught this move up into here. We got long right over here, and we caught this move into here, and then we pulled some off right at the highs again, and we took some more off yesterday at our first, just below our first target, because this has the potential of continuing to just fall. Typically what goes almost straight up can come straight back down. Natural gas has that tendency to do it, so we want to make sure we locked in the rest of our position. We'll see how natural gas goes. We'll look for a new setup, but overall, natural gas had this beautiful drop and bounce and put in a bottoming formation, and we got long. It did the same thing again here, a nice bounce, put in a bottoming formation, and took off. So we'll be looking for another setup in natural gas when the time comes, but that is most likely going to be probably a month or 3 from now. We'll see when the next setup occurs. Very nice kind of cycle formation going on, and now we're kind of in this late stages where it is breaking into a new bull market. But overall, it is overbought, and we could very easily see this fizzle down. Maybe it's going to start to continue to make higher lows and higher highs, but that easy, quick move is now done. Looking over at crude, up 0.2%. Still struggling with this blue resistance line here. It's holding up really well. The longer something trades sideways, the bigger the move will be afterwards. So if it can break here, we can start to see this really pop quickly up into this this 59, 59.50 area, right into this kind of range up in here where all these kind of traded. If it starts to break down, we'll probably be coming down to the lows here over here on this 54. But overall, it is trending to the upside. It does have a larger bear flag type of formation, and it's at resistance. I don't really get too much insight out of here. The big question is which way is it going to break? Again, not a clean setup as it oscillates through here at a 1-2% range, just flip-flopping around in here. Anyways, that's it for this morning. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.